Gang, gang, gang. Ew, my upper lip is sweating, girl. I need some air.
You're so hot.
You wanna do, yeah. She don't play and she my type. She got brains and I'm top, she that lady.
Hello, guys. Today is going to be a slumber series, okay, with my best friend. Y'all have seen her before on my channel. She's been in one of my videos before where we had food. So once again, we have
food because that's all we do. Food.
So cue the food. When she comes on, the food comes on.
The food comes on. So just know when I'm starting in it, we're gonna have some food.
So today for our slumber series, you know, we got ready. We got our little cute little silk or whatever, just a little drip, nothing too little, you know, cute little PJs or whatever. And we're lying because it's not really nighttime. It's the morning.
It's the morning, but whatever.
But it's fine. We got our breakfast.
We got our breakfast
to smack on while we talk to y'all.
We got handy dandy Chick-fil-A. So I got my little chicken, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Why do I want to say biscuit? What the hell was it?
It's a bagel.
A bagel. It's a bagel. And then we got some hash browns and
I got a chicken biscuit.
Yeah.
And we have orange juice.
Orange juice. Simply orange, non-GMO.
I'll link that in the description.
The only way
to buy the orange juice.
The only way.
Yeah, today on this topic of slumber series, I was inspired by this series by a person named Claudia Salewski. She's done these videos before.
Oh, I thought you was gonna call them out right now. No shit. We saying names?
No, that's another YouTuber that has done this series, and so I loved watching her stuff. So now I'm recreating this and doing my own version with my best friend. So
period.
And in the next times, you know, be different topics, maybe different people. I don't really know.
No.
But okay, never mind. This is a permanent show. But on today's topic, we're gonna be talking about friendships. Okay. So my personal situation with my best friend that had happened was she was someone that was very, very close to me. She and I bonded over like a lot of common interests, things like that, as normal best friends do. And she and I grew a friendship to the point where I would consider her like a sister. It came to a point where I didn't feel like she was benefiting in me anymore, or she started. I have no issues with my best friends becoming best friends with somebody else. That's their personal life. Everyone is, you know, they should be able to, I guess, have their own freedom to do what they want, all the kind, like make their own decisions, blah 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 blah. So I'm not here like stopping her for becoming best friends with someone else. That's perfectly fine. But what happened was when she was best friends with a certain person, I noticed that she would just change all of a sudden. And her demeanor, everything about her was different. She was heavily influenced by this one person. And I feel like you should be influenced by your friends, but not to the point where you change as a person.
Right.
And so for me, those were kind of warning signs that I saw that were kind of strange in a way, that were like, I guess the beginning of what was gonna happen.
Right.
Before we kind of fell out or
it was
whatever.
Like red flags that led to the whole like separation.
Yeah, red
It's like
flags.
a divorce, honestly. Like
red flags.
I know that sounds like really extreme, but like honestly, like when you're like best friends with somebody and you guys just go from like being best friends to like never speaking, like,
to talking to each other almost every day,
calling each other all the time, like that's the person you go to when you have a problem, this and the other, and then all of a sudden they're not in your life anymore and you're just like, oh,
like, what do I do?
Yeah.
For me personally, with this person, I saw a gradual progression. I saw the warning signs, and I kind of just was like, okay, she's still my best friend, so it doesn't matter. But little did I know that this would all lead up to her becoming the bestest friends with her, and she fully ghosted me. Fully. And like for months, like at least I'd say half a year, she ghosted me, which friends don't do that. And I remember talking to her and her being like, oh, it's just because, you know, sometimes I like in my mind just mentally I distance myself and all that. I'm like, okay, I understand people need space, but like that's not something you do to your best friend. But I'm just saying there were warning signs, there were little things that led up to it, and I could see that this one person wasn't a good influence over her life. But fast forward to today. We are friends now. We are friends again. I did reconnect with her. I did try to become, I guess in a way, her best friend, but I realized it could never go back to that. And so now she is in a situation where her current best friend that was kind of changing her in a way, they are clones of each other. She is not her individual self anymore. She is basically the same person as that girl. And
oh shit. Damn, I'm sorry.
Don't choke.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, she's basically the same person as that girl. And honestly, I feel like through these situations it's just shown like her true character.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I'm still okay and like cool with her, but like I feel like even with best friends, sometimes you need to know when it's time for it to end,
right?
Or when you need to distance yourself,
right?
And I'm also saying that like it's okay if that person was once your best friend. It's okay to let them go and let them be, because at the end of the day, you're doing what you need to do for yourself.
Yeah.
So
for sure,
if they want to do whatever they want to do with whoever they want to do, let them do it.
Yeah.
Because it's okay to grow apart. It's okay to distance yourself.
Yep.
It's okay to go in your own lane and do what you think is best for you, because you will make other sisters along your life. So yeah, for sure.
I feel like me and Gina's situations are like similar in shit. It sounds like a whole toad. Similar in some ways, but different other like aspects, because like honestly, in my situation, like I had a best friend like almost all through high school and like beginning of college-ish, or like middle of college, right? Yeah. So like, I don't know, 5-6 years, something like that. And we were best friends, like we were like inseparable, like it was always me and her, like it was just like that. When people saw me, they asked like, oh, where's blah, and then when they saw her, they're like, oh, how's she doing? Just because they knew like we were like that close of
like attached by the hip.
Yeah, we were like that close of best friends. And like honestly guys, everything happens for a reason. Like in my situation, I was just kind of like, what the heck? Like my situation just happened like abruptly. Like we both just like stopped talking to each other. Like it was just like a like a cut. Like it was just like a random, like I texted her, she never texted me back, and then that was it. Like we never talked, we never spoke.
Yeah, because in my situation, my friend and I did like end up talking again, but theirs was like a full cut, like never speak to each other,
yeah,
never
like
look at each
cut.
other again.
Yeah,
no sense, like no kind of contact whatsoever.
Yeah, it was a full cut, and like honestly, like,
and it came out of the blue too. It was out of
it was out of the blue, and it was just things that at that moment when all that stuff was happening, I was like trying to wrap my head around it, and I blamed myself for everything. Like I was like, well, maybe I'm not a good enough friend, maybe I did something, like what did I do? Like I was just like I hated myself in that moment for like being me, and I was just like, I had to take a step back, and I was talking to Adrina about it, and she was like, you did nothing wrong. No. Like you literally were a great friend to her, like you were a great sister to her. Like sometimes things happen and we can't even have an explanation for them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes they just happen abruptly, and we have to adapt to it. And I had to adapt, because I was like, okay, well, like wow, like it just went from like us talking every day to like
from 100 to 0.
To 0, yeah. But yeah, and I don't want to get into all the like details and all that stuff, but it just happened that way, where it was like a really like sudden cut. Like to this day, like I think pretty coming up soon, like it'll be a year since we haven't talked at all. So this was recent. It will be a year. It will be a year, because it was close to my birthday that it happened. All this stuff happened. So it'll be like a year that we've never talked. But you know what, guys? I feel like so at peace. Like not having that person in my life. And I'm not saying that in like a disrespectful way or like a mean way, like hatred towards her, anything like that, because I wish her the best, and you know, I wish that she succeeds in everything she does in life. But I feel at peace with myself because I feel like whoever's meant to be in your life will always be there.
Yeah,
they will always be there. Like, you don't have to force friendships, you don't have to force people to be in your life. Like, whoever's meant to be will be there. Like, that's just the point blank period.
And, yeah, how are you saying like that sometimes things just happen and things like you don't understand it sometimes in the moment, but I feel like through situations and over time that person's character is revealed a lot more, or you finally start understanding a little bit, or you start seeing them through like other outlets, like through other people or social media or something. And you're like that's not you. Wow,
though.
like there's a reason why this all happened, or I don't know, they just start becoming their true self, and it's okay, because it's okay to just have your own path.
Yeah, and it's like people grow apart. Like, you're not gonna be like, it's, well, those friendships that are like, oh, we've been friends for 16 years.
That's a hard
friends.
thing.
My grandma and her best friend, they're literally like this, and they were friends since kindergarten, and they're 70. Well, she's 70, her best friend's like 60 something, but still, like, they were like best friends since that's so rare.
That's very rare.
So rare.
And it's okay not to have those friendships, because people, they come and go. And so,
yeah,
I mean, hold on to the ones that you currently have, but all I'm saying is it's okay if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, because
I mean,
and sometimes
they'll all come around. So.
Yeah, and sometimes people are supposed to be in your life for a season. Like, or they're supposed to come into your life at a certain time. Like, me and Drina, we knew each other like when, middle school? Middle school, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and like we
knew
were
each other
cool then too, but we never became best friends.
Yeah.
So
we were like, you know, like, hey, like, what's up? Like, that type of friendliness. And then she moved to India. And then when she came back, we were attending the same church. So that's how we like reconnected and everything. But it wasn't like an instant like, oh, we've been best friends since middle school. No. Like, we were like friends,
it happened
but
organically and over time.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is just a little side note too. A very quick side note. I feel like a lot of the times when things are rushed in relationships in general, whether that be friendships or romantic, a lot of the times they don't last. If they're not, I guess, there's no reason to be in a rush. I'll just say that. There's no reason to be in a rush. You have plenty of time to,
you have your whole life,
figure out certain things and people and all those kinds of things. So that's just a little side note. But yeah, guys, those are both of our stories that we wanted to share with you guys. If you get something out of them, great. If you didn't, I hope it applies to you in some kind of way.
Or it might apply. It might apply to you later in the future.
Yeah, in the future, or with other areas. I mean, relationships in general, whether it be romantic or friendships, you know, there's a lot of things that you can take out of, I don't know, just like general principles. Yeah.
Like, if you're in the same situation, like right now, where you're like, me and my best friend just stopped talking all of a sudden, like, why? And you're wondering and thinking like, if it's you, honey, it's not you. Well,
it might be you.
It might be you.
You might want to reevaluate yourself.
Yeah, reevaluate yourself.
I mean, it's good to do that anyways.
For growth, self-growth. But don't beat yourself up if you know you were a good person and you were a ride or die for that friend. Because if that's the case, then you shouldn't feel like anything. Like, you should be like okay and straight and just accept that. Yeah. This person was for a season and a time in my life, and that's it.
Yeah. This is all we have to say to wrap up for today. I hope you like the Slumber series as the first episode. I'll have more coming up in the future with her, of course, as my permanent guest.
I'm dead.
So
I better be. So thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys.
Bye.
I'm dead.